The frame is cold in my hands. It's our wedding photo frame, the silver one my mother gave us, the one that has held the same smiling picture for 15 years. But the picture isn't there anymore. I slid it out this morning, my thumb tracing the ghost of Elena's smile on the glass before I cleaned it. Now, it holds something else. It holds her love letters. Not to me. 47 minutes. That's how long I have. I check the clock on the nightstand, the one she picked out. 8:43 p.m. Her flight from Chicago was scheduled to land at 9:30, but the airline app sent a notification an hour ago. Early arrival. She'll be in a cab by now, texting me about how much she missed me during her 3-day conference. I can almost feel the vibration of my phone in my pocket, but I don't look. Not yet. I place the frame on her pillow, propping it up so it's the first thing she'll see when she walks into the bedroom. Beside it, I set my wedding ring. The simple gold band feels heavy, a dead weight I've been carrying for weeks. Now it's just another piece of evidence in a crime scene of my own making. My hands are shaking, but not from rage, not anymore. The rage came in waves, a tsunami that wrecked me for days after I found the letters tucked away in a shoebox at the back of her closet, hidden beneath old sweaters that still smelled faintly of her. The box was labeled Memories. I guess she wasn't wrong. Now all that's left is a strange, chilling calm, a cold satisfaction that settles deep in my bones. For 15 years, I trusted her with a blindness that feels foolish now. Criminal. I built my life on the foundation of our love, and it turns out the whole thing was a lie, constructed with someone else's materials. The letters are handwritten on thick, creamy paper, the kind she always said was for special occasions. Her script, a familiar, elegant loop, fills the pages. I didn't have to read all of them to understand. The first one was enough. My dearest David. My breath caught in my throat then. A sharp, painful thing. David. Her coworker. The one she said was just a friend. The one who'd been over for dinner, who had shaken my hand and complimented my cooking while he was sleeping with my wife. The scent of her perfume, a soft lavender and vanilla, still clings to the paper. I can smell it from here, a phantom touch in the quiet room. It makes my stomach clench, a visceral reaction to the intimacy of it all. She must have held these pages close, maybe sprayed them with her scent before sending them, a little piece of herself for him to keep. The thought sends a fresh spike of ice through my veins. 42 minutes. I walk through our house. The house I worked double shifts to afford the down payment on. The house David's money helped renovate. The new kitchen countertops, the ones she said my bonus paid for, feel slick and foreign under my fingertips. I see his influence everywhere now. The shade of paint in the living room, the expensive art piece she claimed she got at a flea market. It was all him. Our life has been a joint venture, and I was the silent, unknowing partner. I grab the duffel bag I packed earlier. It's not much. A few changes of clothes, my laptop, the files from my desk, the important things. The rest, the furniture, the photos, the life we built, can burn for all I care. It's all tainted now, a museum of our shared history that I have no desire to visit again. My phone buzzes. Then again, I know it's her. Just landed. Can't wait to see you. So tired, need a cuddle dot. The messages will be full of exclamation points and emojis, a performance of affection she has perfected over the years. I let it buzz. The silence in between feels like a victory. 38 minutes. I stand at the front door, my hand on the knob. One last look back at the life I'm about to detonate. It looks so normal, so peaceful. Anyone peering through the window would see a perfectly curated home, a symbol of middle-class success. They wouldn't see the lies embedded in the drywall, the deceit sealed into the grout, They wouldn't know that in less than an hour, this perfect little picture will shatter. She'll walk in, call my name, she'll drop her bags in the hallway, maybe pour herself a glass of wine. Then she'll come upstairs, ready to slip back into the role of the loving wife. And she'll find my gift. She'll see the letters, her own words staring back at her, trapped behind glass. She'll see my ring, a silent declaration of war. And in that moment she will know. She will know that I know. A smile touches my lips, thin and humorless. Some betrayals, I think, deserve to be framed. With that final thought, I pull the door shut behind me, the click of the lock sounding like the first shot fired. The engine turns over with a familiar grumble, a sound that has been the backdrop to my life for the past 5 years. Commutes to a job I didn't love to pay for a life I thought was real. Tonight, the sound is different. It's the sound of escape. I pull away from the curb, not daring to look back at the house. It's no longer my home. It's just a building filled with ghosts. My first call is to Sarah Mitchell. Her name came up on a legal forum, recommended as the kind of divorce attorney who doesn't just fight, she annihilates. The kind of person you hire when you want to leave nothing but scorched earth behind. Her number has been saved in my phone for a week under the contact name Plumber. She answers on the second ring, her voice crisp and professional, even at this hour. Sarah Mitchell. My name is Marcus Vance, I say, my voice steadier than I expected. I need an emergency meeting, tonight. There's a pause. I can hear the faint clacking of a keyboard in the background. Mr. Vance, my office is closing in 30 minutes. Can this wait until morning? No, I say, the word sharp. It can't. I have proof. The clacking stops. Proof of what, exactly? Adultery and financial fraud. I have love letters, and I think he's been funneling money into our joint accounts. The words come out in a rush, a confession I've been holding back for weeks. Another pause, this one shorter. Where are you now? 5 minutes from your office. I'll wait, she says, and hangs up. Just as I end the call, my phone screen lights up with a text from Elena. Landing early. Missed you so much. My thumb hovers over the keyboard. For a second, a flicker of the old Marcus, the husband, wants to reply with something loving. The instinct is so deeply ingrained it's physical. But then the image of her letters, of David's name in her handwriting, flashes in my mind. I type back a single, cold sentence. Don't wait up. I'll be home by 9. It's a lie, of course. A small, insignificant lie compared to the mountain of deceit she has built, but it's a start. It buys me time. The drive to Sarah's office is a blur of red lights and blurred taillights. My mind keeps replaying fragments of the letters, each one a fresh stab. It wasn't just the emotional betrayal that gutted me. It was the financial planning behind it all. David wasn't just her lover. He was her investor. I remember one letter vividly. The kitchen looks incredible, my love. You were right about the quartz. Marcus thinks his bonus covered it. He's so trusting, it's almost sad. Almost sad. She pitied me. She pitied my trust while I was working 60-hour weeks, taking on extra projects, exhausting myself to give her the life she wanted. The life I thought we wanted. The exhaustion I felt then feels like a different kind of tired now. It was the fatigue of a man being played for a fool. The renovations had been her project. She'd handled the contractors, the payments, everything. She'd presented me with invoices, and I'd paid them from our joint account, the same account my paychecks went into. She explained away the large deposits as surprise bonuses from my company, commissions I hadn't been tracking. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? When she told me good news, I celebrated. It never occurred to me to check with HR, to question the source of the money. My wife was proud of me, proud of my hard work. That's what I thought. The truth was, she was just laundering her lover's money through my success. I pull into the parking garage beneath Sarah's downtown office building. The space is mostly empty, an eerie concrete cavern under the city. I check the time. 9:15 p.m. Elena would be home by now. She would have seen the frame. The thought should make me nervous, but instead, it fuels me. I want her to feel a fraction of the shock I felt when I opened that shoebox. I grab the briefcase from the passenger seat. It contains copies of the letters, our bank statements for the past 2 years, and every financial document I could find. I am not walking into this fight unarmed. As I ride the elevator up to the 24th floor, my phone buzzes again. A call from Elena. I let it go to voicemail. It rings again immediately. I decline it. And then a string of texts. "Marcus, what is this? Where are you?" This is some kind of sick joke, right? The messages are frantic, laced with a confusion that will soon curdle into panic. I read them with a detached curiosity. This is the sound of her world beginning to crumble. And I'm the one who lit the fuse. The elevator doors open to a quiet, carpeted hallway. Sarah's office is at the end, the only one with light spilling from under the door. As I walk towards it, I realize the man who left his house 20 minutes ago is not the same one arriving here. The old Marcus, the trusting husband, died the moment he read the words, "My dearest David." This new Marcus, the one walking into a lawyer's office with a briefcase full of betrayal, is someone I'm just beginning to meet. And I think I like him. He's a survivor. The fluorescent lights of Sarah Mitchell's office buzz with an insistent, low hum, a sound that feels both sterile and suffocating. The air is warm and smells faintly of coffee and paper. It's a world away from the emotional carnage I've just unleashed back at my house. Sarah sits behind a large, imposing mahogany desk, her expression unreadable. She's younger than I expected, maybe late 30s, with sharp eyes that seem to see right through me. "Mr. Vance," she says, gesturing to the chair opposite her. "You said you have proof." I don't say a word. I just open my briefcase and lay the photocopied letters on her desk. I spread them out like a poker hand, a royal flush of infidelity. The originals are safely locked away. But these copies are just as damning. Sarah leans forward, her eyes scanning the first page. She is a fast reader, her gaze moving methodically down the elegant script. I watch her, trying to gauge her reaction, but her face remains a professional mask. The only sign of her interest is the slight narrowing of her eyes. As she reads, my phone starts to buzz on the desk beside the letters. Elena's name flashes on the screen. Once, twice, 3 times. I let it ring. The sound an intrusive punctuation mark in the quiet room. Each buzz feels like a small, satisfying jolt, a reminder that I am no longer on the receiving end of the lies. The silence between each call is a pocket of peace I savor. After the 6th call goes unanswered, the texts start again, a desperate barrage against my wall of silence. "Marcus, what the hell is this? Where are you? We need to talk. This isn't what it looks like. Please come home. This isn't what it looks like." The classic line, the last refuge of the guilty. I almost laugh. What exactly did she think it looked like? Love letters to another man, detailing their affair, mocking my trust. It looked exactly like what it was. Sarah finishes the last letter and stacks them neatly. She looks up at me, her expression finally shifting from neutral to something more engaged, more predatory. "These are explicit," she says, her voice measured. The emotional affair is clear, the physical affair is heavily implied, but this... She taps a finger on a specific paragraph in one of the letters. It's the one I remember most clearly, the one about the kitchen renovation. "He paid for your kitchen?" she asks, her tone sharp. And the new roof last summer, and the landscaping, and a trip to Italy she told me was a work bonus for her. The list spills out of me, a litany of my own ignorance. And these payments, how were they made? She told me I was getting unexpected bonuses from my job. Large sums of money would appear in our joint account, and she'd have a story for it. A big commission I'd forgotten about, a performance incentive. I was working so much, I didn't question it. I was proud. Sarah leans back in her chair, a slow smile spreading across her face. It's not a warm smile. It's the smile of a shark that has just smelled blood in the water. "Marcus," she says, her voice cutting through the warm office air. "These letters don't just prove adultery. They prove financial fraud. She's been using his money, disguising it as your income, and commingling it in your joint accounts. She hasn't just been cheating on you. She's been using you to launder her lover's money." The words hang in the air between us. Launder her lover's money. It sounds so clinical, so criminal. It reframes everything. This wasn't just a messy, passionate affair. This was a calculated, long-term deception with financial motivations I hadn't even begun to comprehend. The betrayal deepens, pulling me down into a fresh layer of darkness. "What does that mean?" I ask, my voice a hoarse whisper. "It means," Sarah says, leaning forward again, her eyes gleaming under the fluorescent lights, "that this isn't just a divorce. It's a financial case. We're not just talking about splitting assets. We're talking about recovering funds that were fraudulently obtained and misrepresented. We're talking about turning her affair into a liability she will have to pay for, literally." She picks up her phone and takes a picture of each letter. The snap of the digital shutter, sharp and final in the quiet room. With each photo, I feel a piece of my old life being documented, catalogued, and prepared for destruction. "She's not just going to lose you, Marcus," Sarah says, her voice low and confident. "She's going to lose a lot more than that." My phone buzzes again, a voicemail notification. I tap the screen and listen, the speakerphone broadcasting Elena's panicked voice into the sterile office. "Marcus, I'm home. I saw the frame. I don't understand. Please, whatever you're thinking, it's not true. Just come home. We can fix this. I love you. I love you." The words, once the anchor of my existence, now sound like a foreign language. A lie so profound, so practiced, that it almost sounds like the truth. But I have the truth, spread out on a lawyer's mahogany desk, and it tells a very different story. Sarah looks at me as the voicemail ends. "Do you want to fix this, Marcus?" I look at the letters, at Elena's name on my phone screen, and I feel nothing but the cold, hard resolve that has been building inside me for weeks. "No," I say, my voice clear and strong. "I want to win." Sarah's smile returns, wider this time. "Good," she says, "because I think we can." The knock on Sarah's office door is so sharp and sudden it makes me flinch. It's followed by a frantic rattling of the handle. "Marcus, I know you're in there. Open the door." Elena's voice is muffled but unmistakable, laced with a desperation that is both satisfying and unsettling to hear. Sarah looks at me, one eyebrow raised. "Expecting company?" "I guess she tracked my phone," I say, a hollow feeling in the pit of my stomach. Part of me knew this confrontation was inevitable, but I didn't expect it to be here now, in this sanitized legal space. Sarah presses a button on her desk intercom. "Jean, can you handle that?" A moment later, we hear a muffled exchange in the hallway. Then the unmistakable sound of Elena's voice, louder this time, angrier. "I'm his wife. I have a right to be in there." The door swings open, and there she is. Her hair is a mess, her face pale and tear-streaked. Her eyes, the same eyes that have looked at me with what I thought was love for 15 years, are wide with a mixture of fury and fear. And standing just behind her, looking awkward and out of place, is David. He's dressed in a wrinkled polo shirt and jeans, looking less like a sophisticated lover and more like a teenager caught sneaking out of the house. The sight of them together, a united front of betrayal, sends a fresh wave of cold rage through me. "Marcus, what the hell is this?" Elena demands, her voice cracking. She gestures vaguely around the office, at Sarah, at the letters on the desk. "You hire a lawyer, you disappear, you leave that on my pillow?" "I thought it was fitting," I say, my voice devoid of emotion. "Our wedding frame, for the memories." David steps forward slightly. "Look, man," he starts, holding up his hands in a placating gesture. "This is just a big misunderstanding." "A misunderstanding?" I repeat, the words dripping with sarcasm. "You were sleeping with my wife and paying for my house renovations. What part of that did I misunderstand?" David flinches as if I'd slapped him. Elena rushes to fill the silence. "We need to talk, Marcus. Alone, not here, not with her." She glares at Sarah, who watches the entire exchange with the detached curiosity of a scientist observing a chemical reaction. "There's nothing to talk about," I say, standing up. I feel taller, stronger than I have in years. The victimhood I've been marinating in for weeks is gone, replaced by a steely resolve. "Everything you could possibly have to say to me is already written down." I gesture to the letters on the desk. "In your own words." Elena's face crumples. "It's not what you think," she whispers, the fight draining out of her. "Then what is it, Elena? What is the version of this that makes sense? The version where you're not a liar and a cheat?" She opens her mouth, then closes it. She looks at David, a silent, desperate plea for help. He just shakes his head, looking at the floor. It's in that moment that I see the future. Not the future I had planned, the one with family vacations and growing old together. I see a different future, one that starts in this room and ends in a courtroom in this very same building. In 6 months, I'll be standing on the other side of a sterile room from her, watching her sign away half of everything she thought she owned. I'll watch the confidence drain from her face as she realizes the depth of her miscalculation. She thought I was the trusting, naive husband she could manipulate. She will learn, in excruciating detail, how wrong she was. She thought she was the one in control, the one playing a game I didn't even know existed. But I know now, and I'm changing the rules. I am no longer the man who worked overtime to afford her spa weekends. I am no longer the man who believed her stories about bonuses and work trips. That man is dead. He died in a closet, surrounded by the smell of lavender and lies. The man standing here now is someone else entirely. He is a man who has lost everything, which means he has absolutely nothing left to lose. "You should go," I say, my voice calm and final. "Sarah and I have a lot of work to do." Elena looks at me, her eyes pleading. "Marcus, please, don't do this." "You did this, Elena," I say, my gaze unwavering. "You and him. I'm just cleaning up the mess." Sarah stands up, a silent signal that the meeting is over. She walks to the door and holds it open. "I think it's time for you to leave," she says to Elena and David, her voice polite but firm. David practically runs out of the room, eager to escape the suffocating tension. Elena hesitates, her eyes locked on mine, searching for a flicker of the man I used to be. She finds nothing. With a final, choked sob, she turns and follows him, her shoulders slumped in defeat. Sarah closes the door behind them, the click echoing in the suddenly silent room. She turns to me, her expression a mixture of professional satisfaction and something that almost looks like sympathy. "Well," she says, "that was dramatic." "You have no idea," I say, sinking back into my chair. The adrenaline begins to fade, leaving a deep, aching exhaustion in its wake. But beneath the exhaustion, there is something else. A flicker of hope. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I'm in control of my own life. The path ahead is going to be a battlefield, but for the first time, I feel ready for the fight. The war has just begun, and I have every intention of winning. The silence in Sarah's office after they leave is a heavy blanket. The drama has passed, leaving behind the cold, hard reality of what comes next. Sarah returns to her desk, her demeanor all business once again. She picks up a stack of papers, bank statements I had printed out, and slides them in front of me. "Okay, Marcus," she says, her tone brisk. "The letters establish the affair and the intent to defraud. Now we need to follow the money. This is my second strike. I've been preparing for this moment, spending sleepless nights hunched over my laptop, tracing the digital breadcrumbs of their deception. I take a pen and begin to circle dates and figures, my hand moving with a grim purpose. "Here," I say, pushing a statement across the desk. "This was 3 months ago, a deposit of $15,000. She told me it was my mid-year performance bonus." I point to another. "And this one, $22,000. The down payment for her new car, which she claimed was a reward from her company for landing a big account." Each circled number is a nail in the coffin of our marriage. Each deposit from a shell corporation I now know is linked to David is another piece of the puzzle falling into place. It's all there in black and white, a meticulous record of their lies. Sarah nods, her eyes scanning the documents. "We can subpoena David's financial records. If we can prove a direct link between his accounts and these deposits, we have a very strong case for financial misconduct." My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. I glance at it. It's David. "She's a mess, Marcus. You need to talk to her. There's more to this than you know. More to it." As if a secret lover funding my life isn't enough. I ignore the text and focus on the statements. But then Elena calls again, this time from her mother's phone. I hesitate for a second, then answer, putting it on speaker. "Marcus?" Her voice is a desperate whisper. "What do you want, Elena?" I ask, my voice flat. "You have to listen to me," she says, her words tumbling out in a frantic rush. "It's not what you think. David was helping us. Because I was pregnant." The words hit me like a bucket of ice water. Pregnant. The air leaves my lungs in a silent whoosh. Sarah looks up from the papers, her professional mask slipping for a moment. I lost the baby," Elena continues, her voice breaking into a sob. "It was 2 months ago. I couldn't tell you. You were so stressed with work. And I was devastated. David was just being a friend. He was helping me, helping us, because we were in a bad place. Pregnant." My mind reels, trying to process the information. A baby. We had wanted a baby for years. We had tried and failed, and eventually we had stopped talking about it. The unspoken grief a silent wall between us. The idea that she had been pregnant, that we had lost a child I never even knew existed, is a fresh, agonizing wound. For a fleeting second, her story almost makes sense. The secrecy, the money. Maybe it was all just a misguided attempt to shield me from more pain. Maybe David was just a friend, a shoulder to cry on during an impossible time. But then, the cold, hard logic that has become my new companion kicks in. I look at the bank statements in front of me, at the dates I have so carefully highlighted. "Pregnant?" I say, my voice dangerously quiet. "When, Elena? When were you pregnant?" It was this spring," she stammers. "I found out in March." I trace my finger back through the statements. March, April, May. The deposits from David's shell company started a year ago, long before any baby. The lies just keep coming, each one more desperate, more pathetic than the last. She's throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping something, anything will stick. The deposits started last year, Elena, I say, my voice cold as ice. Long before March, so try again. What's the real story? The other end of the line is silent. The only sound is her ragged breathing. She has no more stories to tell. She has run out of lies. I have to go, Elena, I say, my voice final. My lawyer and I have work to do. I hang up before she can respond. The silence returns to the office, heavier this time. Sarah looks at me, her expression a mixture of pity and admiration. She's good, Sarah says quietly. The pregnancy? That's a powerful move. A lot of men would have fallen for that. I'm not a lot of men, I say, my voice hard. Not anymore. Sarah nods, then glances at her watch. She's desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. We need to move fast. We have about 4 hours before the banks open. We can file an emergency petition to freeze all your joint assets. The accounts, the house, the investments. We lock it all down before she has a chance to move a single cent. Do it, I say without hesitation. The thought of her trying to hide the money, to take anything more from me, fills me with a renewed sense of purpose. Sarah is already on her computer, her fingers flying across the keyboard, drafting the petition. As I watch her, I realize the man who was reeling from the pregnancy bombshell just moments ago is gone. He has been replaced by someone colder, harder, and more determined than ever. Elena didn't just cheat on me. She didn't just lie to me. She used the memory of our shared dream, the dream of a child, as a weapon. She tried to manipulate me with a grief I didn't even know I was supposed to have. And for that, I will never forgive her. This is no longer just about getting what I'm owed. This is about making sure she understands the full cost of her betrayal. And I will make sure it is a price she will be paying for a very long time. 3 weeks later, the air in the courthouse hallway is thick with the smell of old paper and stale anxiety. People mill about in hushed conversations, their faces etched with the stress of legal battles. It's a place of endings, of lives being neatly divided into assets and liabilities. My own ending is scheduled for 10 a.m. in front of Judge Morrison, a settlement hearing. Sarah says it's a formality. We have them cornered. The frozen accounts, the paper trail from David to our life. It's an open and shut case of financial fraud. Elena's lawyer knows it. They're here to surrender. I'm standing by a window, looking down at the city traffic moving like blood cells through an artery, when she finds me. Marcus. I turn. Elena looks diminished. The fire I saw in her eyes at Sarah's office is gone, replaced by a deep, weary sadness. She's wearing a conservative gray dress, her hair pulled back neatly. She looks like a stranger playing the part of a grieving wife. Elena, I say, my tone neutral. I will not give her the satisfaction of seeing me angry. I will not give her any emotion at all. Can we just talk? She asks, her voice low, almost a whisper. Just for a minute, no lawyers. I glance down the hall. Sarah is talking to Elena's attorney, a balding man with a perpetually worried expression. I give a slight nod. You have 2 minutes. She steps closer, and I have to fight the urge to step back. The scent of her lavender perfume is a ghost between us. You destroyed 15 years, she says, her voice trembling. 15 years over a few letters. It wasn't the letters, Elena. It was the lies. The years of lies. I never meant for this to happen, she insists, tears welling in her eyes. It got out of control. Sleeping with another man and using his money to fund our life isn't getting out of control, Elena. It's a plan. A very detailed, very successful plan. For a while, at least. David means nothing, she says, the tears now streaming down her face. He was a mistake. A stupid, meaningless mistake. I was going to leave him. For me? I ask, a humorless laugh escaping my lips. You were going to break up with your rich boyfriend to come back to your boring, trusting husband? Yes, she says, her voice gaining a desperate strength. I love you, Marcus. I have always loved you. The baby was yours. The pregnancy lie again. She's clinging to it like a life raft. The dates don't work, Elena. We've been over this. The dates are wrong, she insists. I can prove it. There are records, doctor's visits. I can show you. The baby was yours, Marcus. We could have been a family. Her performance is breathtaking. The tears, the desperate sincerity, the way she looks at me as if I am the only thing in the world that matters. The old Marcus would have crumbled. The old Marcus would have believed her, would have taken her in his arms and said they could fix it. But the old Marcus is gone. I reach into the inner pocket of my suit jacket. My hand closes around a single, folded piece of paper. The one letter I didn't give to Sarah. The one letter I kept for myself. The one she never found. I found it in a different box, tucked inside a book he had given her. It was dated just 1 week before she left for her conference in Chicago. It was her final letter to him, her masterpiece. I pull it out and unfold it. It's the original, the creamy paper cool against my skin. I hold it up for her to see. Her eyes widen, a flicker of confusion followed by a dawning, sickening horror. She recognizes the stationery. You never found this one, did you? I ask, my voice quiet, almost conversational. You were probably planning to give it to him in person, a grand romantic gesture. Her face is ashen. She knows what the letter says. She knows her entire defense, her entire performance of the repentant wife, is about to be utterly and completely destroyed. I read from it, my voice steady and clear, cutting through the courthouse hum. My dearest David, I begin. I'm writing this from the airport, on my way to Chicago. This is the last trip I'll take as Marcus's wife. When I get back, I'm going to tell him. I'm filing for divorce. I can't live this lie anymore. I want to be with you. I want the life we've planned. Our house, our future. I've already spoken to a lawyer. It will be simple. He trusts me completely. He'll never see it coming. I fold the letter and look at her. The color has completely drained from her face. She looks like she's seen a ghost. In a way, she has. The ghost of her perfect, secret plan. He'll never see it coming, I repeat softly. But I did, Elena. I saw all of it. The door to the courtroom opens, and a clerk calls out, Vance versus Vance. Judge Morrison is ready. Elena doesn't move. She just stares at me, her mouth slightly agape, the carefully constructed facade of the victim shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. In her eyes, I see the final, crushing realization. She wasn't just caught. She was outplayed. I have been 3 steps ahead of her all along. She was playing checkers while I was playing chess, and I just said checkmate. Sarah touches my arm gently. Marcus, it's time. I walk past Elena without another glance, leaving her standing alone in the hallway with the ruins of her lies. As I step into the courtroom, I feel a profound sense of release. It's over. The fight is over, and I have won. 6 months later, the view from my apartment is different. I'm on the 30th floor of a new building downtown, a sleek, modern space that is entirely mine. The furniture is new, the walls are a color I chose, and there are no ghosts here. No faint scent of lavender, no memories of lies lurking in the closets. It's just clean. The divorce was as brutal and efficient as Sarah Mitchell had promised. The final letter was the kill shot. Presented with undeniable proof of her long-term, premeditated plan to defraud me, Elena and her lawyer had no choice but to surrender. She didn't get half. She didn't even get a quarter. She got her clothes, her car, the one David paid for, and a mountain of legal debt. The house, the investments, the money she had so carefully siphoned into our accounts, it all came to me. The court called it a remedy for financial misconduct. I called it justice. I kept one letter. Just one. It's in the drawer of my new nightstand. It's the last one, the "he'll never see it coming" letter. I don't read it often, but sometimes, when a shadow of the past flickers at the edge of my memory, I take it out. It's a reminder of how close I came to living a lie for the rest of my life. A reminder that trust, once broken, can never be fully repaired. Tonight, I'm not thinking about the past. I'm scrolling through social media, a mindless habit, when a photo makes me stop. It's from a friend of a friend, a picture from a party last night. And there, in the center of the frame, are Elena and David. They are smiling, his arm around her. On her left hand, a large, ostentatious diamond ring sparkles under the party lights. The caption reads, "She said yes. So happy for my two favorite people, Elena and David # engaged." I look at the picture for a long time. There's no anger, no jealousy, no pain. There's just a quiet, detached sense of finality. She got her man, he got his woman. They have each other, and their new life built on the ashes of our old one. And the most beautiful part of it all? She will never know. She will never know that I found that final letter first. She will go through her entire life thinking I was just a hurt husband who stumbled upon a few love notes and reacted rashly. She will never know that I saw her endgame before she even had a chance to play it. She'll never understand that I didn't just react to her betrayal. I orchestrated her downfall with a cold, calculated precision she never thought me capable of. I let her walk into her own trap. I let her believe she was in control, right up until the moment I snapped it shut. I close my laptop and walk to the window, looking out at the city lights twinkling below. They look like a million tiny victories. In the drawer beside my bed sits my old wedding ring. I never sold it. It's worthless now, a relic of a life that no longer exists. But sometimes I think it's the most valuable thing I own. It's a reminder of the man I used to be, and a testament to the man I have become. She never knew I'd already won before the game even began. She thought she was breaking my heart, but she was just forging it into something stronger, something sharper. And for that, in a strange, twisted way, I'm almost grateful. Some betrayals, I think, deserve to be framed, and some victories deserve to be savored quietly in the clean, empty space of a new beginning.